Hello everyone, I welcome you to this activity. The goal of this activity is to explore data types and conventions. Specifically, we are going to work through strings, lists, and dictionaries. Let's fire up the editor to demonstrate this. If you bring up your editor, you are going to see the previous script and we are going to build on this, okay? So first of all, let's look at strings. So we're going to look at strings. You identify strings by this or double quotes. So you're going to see this single quote or double quotes. You don't have to mix both. Just select one and keep to it. So I would suggest that you keep you select the double quote, the speech marks, and then you stick with it. Okay. So you may see the list, and then list is square bracket. So for list is going to be square bracket. So that is how you see that something is list. And then for dictionary, you're going to see curly brackets. So these symbols, help you to identify what data type you are dealing with. But to even make it more explicit, in Google Earth Engine, they've got what we call the EE dot something, or what we normally call the container object. So if you are dealing with strings, you have to go to EE string. All right. So when you go to the docs, and then you find EE string, that should be here. So all the functions and methods available to work on a string data type is here. So if you want to create a string, for example, you will create a variable called country, and then it's going to be text. So once it's going to be text, that means that, or characters, that means that it's going to be a string. And we need to put it in what speech marks. So how do you do it? So this is a function here. The function is what? EE.strings. So just copy that. And then once you copy it, so normally what I do is that I copy this and I place it here. And then I don't know what strings means. So I'll just click here. And then the string is the argument or the parameter that is required, but what it is. They said that it should be a string or a computed object. So, okay, so if I'm interested in a country, say Ghana, I'm going to bring my speech marks, and then I'm going to type Ghana here. All right. So EE.string, and that is what Ghana. I know it's string because of this speech mark, but also explicitly defined by EE dot string. So now to make a variable, I'm going to declare this as a variable. So it's going to be var, and then I'll name this variable country. All right. So this country, and then I'll assign that. Okay. So once you have this, and you just print it to the console, what are we printing? We are printing the name of the variable. So just copy this and then paste it here, and then you just run this. And so you see the name country is printed to the console. Another thing we can do is that we can create a list of countries. So let's say we want to print a list of countries in Europe. So list is going to what? This square bracket, but there is a container object in the docs to do that. So you have to find EE list. So this is EE list, and then you just copy this function here, and then I'm going to give out some space by hitting on the enter button, and then I paste the function here. So the argument here is list. So it needs this function it needs a list. So you click it down and see that that requires a list. So I want to create a list of countries in Europe. So here I'm going to replace this with what? This square bracket, because a list always have to be a square bracket. So square bracket, and names of countries or names of people, they always have to be string. So if, for example, I'm interested in Sweden, I just put in Sweden, and then the next country, let's say um, Latvia, and then the next country, let's say um, Portugal. So Portugal here, and then the next one, let's say France, and let's say I'm going to put in Slovakia. So this is a list of countries in Europe. So this, I have to declare this as a variable. So what do I need to var, and then I'm going to call it Europe, and then I will assign this EE list to it. So once you have completed your script, or you want to print this variable, so you just print and then variable, and just stick the name of the variable in there and just run that. And then see here in the console, it has created the list of countries. So when you click on the expander, you can see that the first item is Sweden, Latvia, Portugal, and France and Slovakia. So what I want you to take note is that the first item is identified as 0, the second is 1, and the third is 2, and so on and so forth. So in Google Earth Engine, they start counting from 0. They don't count from 1. Okay, so just take note of that. So that is where we go. We got a list of countries here. So the next one we'll work on is dictionaries. So if you want to create a dictionary, so what is a dictionary? And I'm going to explain that through the methods we got in the docs. So you have to find EE dictionary. So we want to go into the docs and then EE dictionary. And then when you copy this script here, sorry, when you copy this function here and just stick it here, right? So what is dictionary? So just click on here, and it says that it requires dict. And what is that? It's an object to convert to a dictionary. So I'm going to explain this. So we know that dictionaries start with what? Curly brackets, or they've got curly brackets. So I'm going to define what this argument is. To define this, I'm going to start with a curly bracket, okay? Because that is going to tell me that is a dictionary. And for dictionaries, you always give you the opportunity to define things. So to mix up numbers, strings, and also lists. All right. So this is going to be EE dictionary, and that is also another indication that it's a dictionary. So what we're going to do is that, for example, we want to have city. We want to use this dictionary to describe Darwin a bit more. So city, and then what is the name of the city? The name of the city is Darwin. So Darwin is what? Is a place. So that is going to be a string. Okay. All right. So when you are talking about dictionary, it is always about keys and values. Okay. So whatever you define is going to be the key, and then what you assign to it is going to be the value. And between the key and the value is this 2 dots, So it means that you're going to see a key called city, and then what you assign to it is Darwin, and this speech mark is saying that this is what a string. Okay, so once you have got that defined, you can go on and add other things like maybe the size of Darwin. So the key is what is the size of Darwin. We will say okay, by population, we or let's say the geographic extent of Darwin, and let's say it is maybe just making up 3164 kilometers squared. So that is another key and value you have created in addition to the first one. And let's say we want to know the geographic coordinates of Darwin, so we'll just create a key called coordinates, and then just I'm going to cut this and then stick it here. And so that is the key. And then the value I'm going to assign today is going to be longitude and latitude, because this is coordinate. And so this is going to be a list of numbers. So I'm going to just copy this list of numbers here and then stick. So let's say the longitude is longitude 130.84, and then the latitude is in the southern hemisphere, so negative 12.46. So this is a list of numbers, and maybe I'm not happy with that, but because I want to know the population size. Okay, so I'm going to create another key called population, and then I'm going to assign the number of people living in Darwin, and let's say, and this is again just making up, let's say it's 13990. All right, so I have created a dictionary, but I want to declare it as a variable. So what do I do? var, and then I'll call this one Darwin city, and then I assign this to it. So what I've done is I've created a variable that gives me some attributes of Darwin. So the name of the city is Darwin, the geographic size is 3164, and the coordinates and the population, all of these details provided. And so once you have created your dictionary, you can print this to the console. And so I'm going to print this to the console, and I'm just bringing the variable name here. So I'm just going to stick into the variable. I will stick the variable name into the print function, and then I'm going to run this. And once you run this thing, you see in the console that they call the dictionary objects, because a lot of things is a mixture of numbers and strings, and so you see that this is Darwin. And if you click this, expand a bit further, that is also split up into what longitude and latitude. So that is how you create dictionaries in Earth Engine. So we've learned how to create dictionaries, list, and string. We're going to do plenty of this in subsequent activities. So I'll advise that you stick with what you have learned now, and we are going to build on it. Okay. In the next activity, we will start working through satellite imagery. So we're getting into remote sensing proper. And so thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications for new videos to help grow the channel.